Okay. So one thing I want to kind of work on, I gotta get the setup in there. Cancel out of here. Try one more. You feel like what?
Felt like I did something weird with my leg.
What leg? Your left leg or your right leg?
I don't know, both. I guess kind of twisted. I don't know.
Play
Didn't feel
before
right.
impact, 1.5. Record before impact. All right, go for it. I'm just trying to make sure I can get the setup on there. It's not showing up. One more time for me. There we go. All right, so we got you set up. Now I'm going to set up an alignment stick. And what I'm going to want you to do is when you practice, always give yourself a body or a target align stick here. So that means you can match your feet and your shoulders to it. So it's going to give you something to square up to a little bit. And then what we're going to also have is a ball position stick, okay? So that way you're not just moving around balls in different spot. You want to kind of have a consistent spot you train in. So one foot on each side. And you want to be very omnipotent to make sure the ball's directly in front of this line, right? That line's going to tell you where the ball's at in between your feet. One of the biggest thing amateurs have issues with is returning the club to the same spot, right? As we learned, you hit it pretty well, so it's not a big concern right now.
Yeah.
But the things that we're trying to do is we want to make you have the same consistent setup so you can get in and out of it. And we're going to kind of go over what your setup looks like a little bit.
The concern, this looks like it's a little dip down.
Wouldn't even worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
I hit out of there all the time. Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Okay. Chair.
Right.
All right, so let's take a look. So let's look at the setup real quick. So if we look at it square on, right now your hands are behind your middle line. So if you take a look at where your spine's at right here, your hands are behind you, right? So we need to get the hands a little slightly forward on setup. And we need to let this right arm relax a little bit. So if you take it back to right about here, now you're square. So you see how I can see a little bit of that lead arm?
Yeah.
Right now you're a little open on your setup. Your feet are square, but your shoulders are a little open. So we got to get the hands and the grip a little bit more forward of center. So go ahead and set up for me. Yep. So you're going to get here and be more like this, okay? Stay right there. Okay, now hit it. Okay.
Pretty good.
Okay, so let's see. If we go here.
Dressing it.
Yeah, so step one's addressing it, right? Come on, there it is. So if we compare to, okay, so you can see here, your hands are more behind you over here. So if we look at, where's my little circles at? Here they are, right? So here your hands are a little behind you, and here your hands are more forward now, right? You can see how over here, your grip's more towards your left leg,
Yeah,
and your grip's more forward of center right now. Correct. That's what we want to get to. So, I mean, it's kind of like a reverse K look. So we're going to go shoulder width, hands a little forward here. Right now, you kind of set up like this.
yeah.
So we want to get a little bit more over the inside the lead thigh or over your left plum, right? So kind of more right about here with the grip.
So doing it the wrong way kind of opens the foot face.
Yeah, so if you have it back, you're creating loft, right? So if you're creating loft, that's where it's going to be like, okay, that's where the issue's at, because you're not going to be able to trap it and compress it as well as you want. As you come through, it's going to flip up a lot.
Yeah.
Boom.
A little forward, yeah.
Oh, right back to there. Perfect. Okay, make a swing. All right, now see if it looks different. A little bit. Okay, so let's go here. All right, so here's the swing. So you can already see there's already a little bit more. See that line's almost a little bit forward now versus if we go back to right here. See how far back it is now, right? So now we're actually starting to get it. Ball position's a little better. Hands are more forward. We can see that left arm just a hair, right? So it's a little bit more neutralized or a square setup, okay? Better. See if we can get you to turn a little bit more through it, right? So see how that foot's still there, right? We want to see if we can, like we talked about on the eval, a little bit more to here. Okay. Okay, looks like that right arm. So take a look over here. Can you see your left arm?
No.
Right? So we'll see it now, right? So what does that tell you about the setup? Your right arm was blocking everything out again, right? You gotta let it hang. Just a little, right? Let's try it again. Mm-hmm. Your right hand's dominating it too much. Yeah, don't put it up there. Don't sneak it up there. I'm watching you do it. Good. Better. It's good contact, right? But now when you watch this setup, so yeah, you're doing a lot of good things. Your smash is pretty solid. Okay, that looks better, right? Grips above the golf ball more, not so far behind it. We can see that lead arm again, right? So we're neutralizing your setup a little bit more. Now, you have more room in your swing. If you'd like to go higher, it's up to you. It could get a little difficult depending on.
Well, with this type of club, you know. Chipping club, I don't normally take a full swing, right?
Well, it's a 9-iron, right?
Yeah.
Are you chipping right now, or are you making a full swing?
Maybe in my head I'm chipping, so I'll try to do a full
So show me what your full swing looks like then.
Okay.
Let that right arm relax. Don't let it engage. There you go. Good. Okay, so your full swing and your chip swing are the same size, right? So that could be an issue, okay?
That wasn't a full swing?
Well, if you said, because you were telling me right now that you felt like you weren't doing a full swing, right?
Right.
So let's take a look at the size of the swing. It's pretty much the exact same size as your normal swing, right?
Right.
Even comparison to right here. So if you're chipping with a 9-iron, like because that's a 9, right?
Yeah.
If you're chipping with a 9, it should be more like this, right?
Right.
This is a swing.
Yeah, all the way through, yeah. So I guess okay, swing. Swing it.
That was a better swing. Now you got to work on sticking that finish more. Okay.
My finish
Well, I mean, like we talked about yesterday, you want to be able to hold that finish for 2 seconds. Like when you get to the top of the swing, you get up there and it's right back down again, right? So when we're swinging, you'll get there, and once you hit it, you release it, right? Versus if I'm going to stand over that back for me, please. Hit it and cut. Over that way, just a hair. There you go. So if we're here, right, it's more one, hold, 1,002, okay? And you can see that there's no weight sitting on that back leg. Okay, so. All right, so now if you watch kind of the difference here, you'll see how high the hands get here. And then on the downswing, you'll see that I'm completely planted on that lead side, right? Holding that, because we've got to get that weight transfer a little better.
Yeah. Okay.
Good. Press the hips this way. There you go.
Now I'm leaning more on my left leg.
So I wouldn't say to lean, right? So you want to kind of press the hips a little bit so you feel more pressure. Good.
Like that.
Yeah, keep that right arm down. You like to really fight that guy up. Very good. Much better. Hold that finish, right? Just because you hit the ball and hit the screen, you're not done. You got to complete the finish and hold 1,002. It's very important because if you're not consistent with your weight transfer and you have a bad day, you're going to be super fast and that would create a big miss for you.
Well, I'm thinking up here,
Mm-hmm.
guy there. Since I can see it close right away, I'm not looking for the ball.
So I want you
Normally, I would do that.
100%. Well, I mean, even we were talking the other day, you still weren't holding your finishes, right?
I know. Yeah.
So I want you to, when you get to here, stop 1,000 to 1,000. No, okay? Really find that balance. I'm gonna turn the AC on. It's getting warm in here. Better. Boom. 1,000. That was better. Right? That was much better. Okay? So we'll be careful at setup because right now you're still getting that trailing arm dump like this. Right? We want the kind of lead arm to be above it just a little bit. Right? So you want to feel more here than there. Right? You like to get there stock. We want you more here. Okay?
Start out.
Better motion. Good. Come on. Better. Good. Hands are more above it. That iPad is slow. Come on, buddy. There you go. So we can see that left arm again. Good. So a little more neutralized on your setup there. Good. You're in the slot, which is great. See how the club is falling down this blue line here? That's fantastic. Turning through it better. Good. And we held one. Better. Good. So so the reason why I'm so like, I want you to stick your finish is because it's so crucial to have good balance in golf. A lot of times when, especially as amateurs, when we have days when you're rushing, you're getting too fast, your balance is going to save you. If you have a bad day and your tempo's off and your balance is off with it too, that's when those tops happen, those big misses, right? So it's very interesting if you go to a driving range, watch how many players can actually hold their finish or do hold their finish, right? And you go watch a tour player, and their hands might move a little bit at the top, but if you watch every tour player, they're stuck in that little princess pose, you know? Yeah. And there's got to be something, and the reason they do that, it just maintains balance, right? It maintains your sweep or your low point, okay? try it again.
I thought they were just performing on the TV.
Right? Right? They're performers. Good. Okay. So that's your 9-iron, okay? Right now, your average, so your 9-iron carry, or total 9-iron is about 90, 85 yards. So that's your 85-yard club for now.
Roughly, yeah.
Okay. And so so we take a look, because here's 87. You're a tiny app, this is the average, 84.6. And that's taking all the shots in there, right?
Oh, yeah.
So give or take, it's your 75, 85-yard club, right?
Well, good. I mean, in the beginning, I wasn't hitting it as hard
Mhm.
as it was lately because we were talking.
And I'm not worried about how far it does actually go for you. That's kind of something you work on. It's more the fact that you need to know when you're on the course and you see 85 yards, what club to go to,
I know.
right?
Well, and here, I wasn't thinking about distance. I was just thinking
100%.
about
And
swinging, so-
that's why, again, for focusing on swinging, I'm just letting you know,
Okay.
right? So that way, when you're on the course, you have a good concept. So let's go from 9s, go to your 7 now. Okay, and the same thing. We're trying to work on a more neutralized setup for right now and sticking the finish, right? So that way we have something that's kind of home plate. So when because your setup dictates like 70% of what's going to happen in your shot for most players.
Right.
We want to make sure that we're aligning and addressing the same way for the shot we want to pull off, right? Different alignments on different setups produce different types of shots, right? So what we want to make sure we can do is we can comfortably get into a setup without overthinking about it, or in a lot of terms, when you take lessons, people tend to get stuck on overthinking about all the things we've talked about. We want to get more into a natural, comfortable, relaxed feel of feet and shoulders kind of matching our target line or the shot shape we're looking for. Good. Let that right arm hang. Left arm kind of feels higher. Good. Okay, a little chubby on that one. Well, so if we take a look here, right, at 0.2B, which means, what does that mean? The lowest point of my swing, right? So right now, the lowest point of your swing was behind the ball by ½ an inch, meaning your club was in the ground before the ball even moved, right? So now when the ball's in the air, that's when it should be going into the ground, right? So if I go to, this is me, I think, yeah. See how mine's 4.1A? Now, what does that really mean? As my club comes into the ball, it's now going to hit the ball. Ball's in the air, and then it hits the ground, right? So I'm hitting the ball before the ground, right? So the lowest point is 4.5 inches ahead of the golf ball. So if we were on a course and this was dirt, the lowest point of your divot would be about 4 inches in front of you, okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we're just trying, and how we do that is we just get more weight into it, right? So when you get to the top, I want you to feel a little bit of a hip bump to the lead side and then turn. You've heard that before.
Yeah.
It's not new information. Now that's going to have a different sound to it.
I think I hit a little behind it.
A little bit. Let's find out. Nope, 2.4A, right? So I can look at that and say, okay, I can go right to this guy. So what do the arrows mean? Okay, so we have all this information, and you don't need to memorize any of it. That's why I'm here. I'm going to explain it to you. So our face angle's pretty simple concept. Where is my club pointing? Okay. Club path. Where is my club traveling? Okay. The red is your, see you see right here, face angle is the red arrow, right? So that's where the club is pointing. The club path is blue. So your club path and face angle were the exact same. So your face to path ratio is 0. So that's really good, right? and we worked on getting about 2.5 inches ahead of the ball more. So instead of having that 0.5 B we had on the other one, so that means you're now hitting the ball more consistently. You can now see it's slightly in there a little bit, but then once the ball's gone, it's way better, right? So we got a lot more, and what happens is as you do that, your club gets more efficient on the ball striking, and that's what smash factor means, is how efficient is it, right? How well does your club speed create good ball speed? And that will kind of tell you how you get your smash factor. So again, do you need to know these things? No, not really. What I'm going to tell you right now is what I like about this is your club was pointing where your club was traveling. And that's the biggest thing when it comes to hitting a ball consistently in the direction we want is obviously strike, but making sure the club's pointing where it's going, right? If I have a swing where, okay, you slice one off to the left or right, pass that way, face that way, there's a gap in between where it's pointing and traveling, then your face to path is a lot bigger number. So, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool.
So with that said,
Yes.
I was aiming to left.
So now that were you aiming left? Were you aligned left? Or did you pull it left, right? So you were aiming pretty straight, right?
Oh, okay.
You just happened to pull it left. It's not a big deal. Like, again, if you're plus or minus 2 to 4 degrees on either side, you can figure out how to play it. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is like, when you get to the level of like scratch golfer, it's a different information. But right now, we're just trying to get you back in the game again and comfortable swinging a club, right?
Gotcha.
So again, what we're more working on is alignment with the body, right?
Yeah.
And sticking your finish, creating better balance, and we also were able to get more weight transfer, so going behind the ball. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. Better hold that finish.
That's really good.
Yeah, no, he struck it well. So let's take a look. Club face was almost 1 degree open. Path was a little left. Now I know from being here all day long that that's going to perform a baby little fade for you. So we look here, baby little fade.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we want to make sure that we're doing is, why is that happening? Well, a lot of the times, again, and it's not like the end of the world, because I think it's going to work well for you. You're going to control it quite well, because you get in the slot pretty darn well. What's happening is, as you come to the ball, once you hit the ball, where's your club going? Left of the white line or straight through the white line? Right? So it's going 1.5, 2 degrees to the left, right? So you can get in that slot all day long, which is where you're supposed to be fantastic, and still have a negative path because of how you pull through the ball, right? Do you need to have a perfect zero path? No. Do you have to have a positive path? No. A lot of great golfers go on either side of it and figure it out. As long as you're dropping in that right in that in the slot right there,
Yeah.
you're fine, right? My bigger thing is making sure, I would like to see this get a little bit more weight through the ball and see if we can get that to 2.5 or 3.5 even, right? So meaning when we're here, the top of the swing, let's transfer more weight to the lead leg with that hip bump and then turn through it. Okay?
Yeah.
Relax that right arm. There you go. Don't let it take over so much. Okay, not bad. I think you accomplished the low point. 4.6, very good. Very good. Now, club face was slightly open.
Yeah.
So you can see by the colors right here, we have a big face to path, right? Your path is pretty consistent. I don't think that's going to change very much, but what will change is probably the strike a lot for you and the face angle, okay?
Yeah.
So if we look at impact locator, I can do without it. Let's go here. Boom. Now, let's take a look what happened to the ball. So as you hit it, so still not in the ground, which is good, right? Why'd the ball go so far right if the club looks pretty square to your target line? What's the first thing it does when it hits? Boom. So see all of a sudden, what's it closest to right now? The hosel, the heel, right? So we had a little bit of a heel strike, and you can see the first thing the ball does is go to the right, right? But so sometimes TrackMan will say your club face was open because of how the ball came off the club, even though it was your strike that caused the ball to go in that direction, okay? So was it a good swing? Yeah, you just missed it about a quarter inch off, and it went to the right on you. You know, let's take a look. I don't think you're too close for it. I think you probably squeezed it a little too tight. Yeah, you got jammed up a little bit through here. So take a look. If you can see right here, see how it's kind of coming across the line right here a little bit, and the heel's coming into it. If you can keep this club, so you're just a little bit outside that plane. If we got a little more underneath it through here, that would have allowed you to release it better. It's a lot different than the range, isn't it? There you go. Boom. Yeah, right there. It's perfect. Great job. That was better. Much better. Okay. So that's perfect. This is for you, your ideal swing right now. Club face is perfectly straight to our target line. We're playing a nice little baby fade, little cut for you, right? Your low point's good, your weight's transferring forward, you have a good attack angle down. The reason you need to do that is now, when we get to driver, it's going to change a little bit, but the reason we need to make sure that we have a low point of 3 to 4 inches, it's going to allow you to get your weight through the ball and ahead of it more. And we don't want to, most people think when they pick up golf that you're lifting the ball in the air, right? But you can tell from the attack angle, it's down 3 degrees. So we're going down and compressing it, right? That's so good. That's so good. Yes. You can kind of feel it's now popping off the club, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Not so much work. Good. So,
And I'm thinking, don't use this hand for.
well, I mean, you're just yeah, because you're a right-handed guy.
Yeah.
You know, so your brain when you haven't played in a few years, you're picking it up again. Your right arm wants to dominate,
Yeah,
right?
And that's what happened. I guess what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
You do that. You wouldn't think about that. What's going to happen?
So let's take a look. So notice your path doesn't change that much. It's averaging negative 2.8, right? Which is fine, right? Whether it's plus or minus 2 to 3 degrees either side, you can figure out how to hit a golf ball pretty straight. But this number will be the one that changes the most. Now, some of it could be to the striking and the machine calculating it, but that's what we want to make sure is you're consistently playing a fade, right? So we don't see a draw happening very often for you, which is totally fine, right?
Yeah.
If we did
I
that,
haven't for the past several months or so. I've faded. It's always been
do you
fading.
like a fade?
Not necessarily. No,
Not
I hit it straight.
Well, that's so the straight shot is the hardest shot in golf to hit. You need to figure out a consistent shot you can play with, right? So as time goes on, we will definitely get it straighter and straighter. But for right now, we got to get something that when you go to the course, you can comfortably set up and play it, right? All right, so let's go. Let's go to a hybrid. Okay, so we worked on 9-iron, 7-iron. We're gonna do a hybrid, a little bit of a wood, and that's gonna give you at least enough to go out and play, right? If you want to go out to Meadowlark and play a couple holes in the evening, I would say go out there, play 6 holes, and just try to work on a game. Go probably get one of the last tee times and go work on your setups and your feel. Because the more you can kind of, okay, I went and hit a bucket of balls, I practice and take it to the course without having a score attached to it, the more you're going to get comfortable doing these things. If you take a bunch of lessons and go out and try to score perfectly the next day, it's going to drive you a little bit nuts sometimes, right? So what you want to do is go out there and before you play a round that is like, I'm trying to score low, get used to what you learned, right? Make it a habit.
So just so you know, up here, I concentrate on hitting the ball
Yeah?
correctly. I don't think about score. I don't think about that. I just,
Mm-hmm.
looking at, okay, now I got to do it this way.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's not about score to me.
Good.
It's about swinging and hitting it correct.
100%. There's also, there's 2 ways, there's a couple ways of playing golf. You can play golf swing or you can play golf the game, right? Some players can do both. Some players can't. I just don't want you to come back just scrambled in your mind. Like when you're worried so much about your swing, you can't play your game, right? At some point, I want you to be able to be out there freely swinging and picking a target and hitting to a target and enjoying it because it's very easy to get lost sometimes. But that's mainly what I mean. I want you to always hit your best shots, make the best swings you can, 100%, right? But I also want you to very much envision the shot, see the shot, and then replicate the shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, I got it. So, just be closer to my left foot?
Great question.
Center.
Great question. So I would say it's slightly wider of a stance. And I'd say with your hybrid, you're probably looking for one club head off the lead foot or slightly forward of center. So we're going to go scoot that foot over too much.
Okay.
There you go. So right about there. And then what you're going to do is a little bigger back foot. So wider back foot this way. There you go. And what I want you to do now is drop your trailing shoulder like this. Yep. Create a little bit more side bend and hands down. Here. Okay. Great swing. Okay. So now take a look. As the clubs get longer, our path's getting a little bit left. Okay. So if you take a look at this, little off the heel, right? So we're consistently heel striking it. Okay.
I felt farther away. I hadn't felt farther away. Okay.
So if we watch the downswing, are you in that slot we talked about? Let's get out of here. So we're here. You're in there pretty good. So let's look at the tail line. So a lot of times when that happens, we are where is it at? Hip line, hand. Nope. Where's it at? I know it's here somewhere. No, hip line. No, we just did that one. Where'd it go? Oh. Anyways, we'll do it this way. So if we go to setup, okay, we have a line right about here, okay? And we get to impact, I'm gonna guess, see how you jumped away from it, right? So as you're getting into the ball, you're what's called early extension of the pelvis, and you're kind of, well, you're jumping into it instead of opening and clearing, right? So if you were kind of more in this position where you're kind of sitting and opening more versus jumping into it, that's why you're hitting everything off the heel. And again, it doesn't have to be massive. It's just about a 1/4 inch off right now. So go ahead and set up for me. Good. Good. And behind the ball more. There you go. And you want to feel that your tailbone stays here a little longer, okay? No, that was different. Let's take a look. All right. So we're consistently hitting it right there. Go ahead and set up for me. Now, a real easy way to fix that, okay? So you're just going to go all the way up and bring it back down and feel what it feel like to get here more, right? Instead of coming down like this.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Boom. And into it.
Yeah.
One more time. Good. And feeling that club come through here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Relax that right arm. Much better. Much better. So take a look at this. Everything's straight, right? Still off the heel of hair. It's all right. I know some great players that hit it slightly off the heel, trust me. But the bigger thing is your club's now pointing in the proper direction. Okay? So take a look. Look how straight that was with a draw, right? So when I adjust your trailing shoulder down like this, that's going to set you up more for a draw. The more that your trailing side gets over or involved, the more it wants to go left naturally for a right-handed player.
If I can
Yeah, boom, and just kind of feel tuck it right in, right? This side down, the more this gets here, the more the body opens that way. The more it
Yeah.
gets here, the more that opens up.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So got to cross that one. All right. Club face open, really steep, really on the heel on that one. Mm-hmm. Now, hold on. Let's do a couple of drills, right? You can sit here and hit golf balls till you're blue in the face, and 9 times out of 10, you're just gonna do the same thing over and over again, thinking you're recreating something different. Versus like, okay, if we look at the last one, what changed? We changed that. We got the setup better. It allowed you to get in this slot back here. See how the club's coming from underneath that shaft line now, or that plane line?
Yeah.
That's the reason you got the club to start out in that direction more, right? So it's more on path versus right here. I'm gonna bet on the downswing, you're just in line with it, right? And that caused you from here, and then you yanked it left hard, right?
So my twisting my left hand like that.
Not too much. Go ahead and set up. So I want you to set up to that ball for me. Now bring your club head straight to my hand. No backswing, just bring it straight forward. You need to feel here versus there, right? So you need to let your arms go through or the club travel more down the line versus yanking your left arm after you hit it, right? And that what will help that is using more lower body. So when we talked about sticking the finish and getting that back foot to move more, what happens is if you typically stay on the trailing side longer, you tend to break the lead arm to pull across because your arms are dominating your downswing instead of having your lower body.
Okay.
That sounded different.
Felt it. Still off to the right.
No, that was the last one. It was a little fade. So, yeah, we got a little bit. The longer the clubs get for you, we're going to have a little bit of that path problem. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that's getting bigger. Low point's fine. Come on. It's a better motion. Okay. So here's what I want you to go ahead and set up for me. Go ahead and set up. Now, first thing I want you to do is gonna give me a wider stance. And we're just gonna do a little drill. We're gonna hinge the wrist, and we're gonna feel here more on the bottom half of the swing. Just this. You see how it's kind of shallow or flatter in feel
Yeah.
instead of steep,
Yeah.
right? So
Oh,
drill
okay.
practice is hinge the wrist, take it back and forth, and feel here more. We have to feel this shallowness versus the steepness,
Yeah.
okay? Why does it stop going off auto? Okay, so this is good. As long as the arrow is pointing where the path is traveling, you're gonna have success bringing that club to a straighter shot. Take a look right here, straight down the middle, right? Number one thing, again, no matter what we talk about, at the end of the day, is your club pointing where the club is traveling. That's gonna be the biggest success to straighter shots, obviously including contact, right? So, come on, cameras. It's like Wi-Fi. All right. Why is that one camera so slow? Oh well. Better swing though. This is again what we're looking for is that straight shot, and we want to make sure that club is pointing where it's traveling. So as it comes through, boom. Even with the heel strike, right? It's okay, right? We're still hitting. We're still doing what we should be doing. It's gonna be hard to change your path, but the one why was that shot more successful is you look at your club path here at negative 3.6 versus a negative 6.8, right? So you're, so yeah, doing that little drill allowed you to get closer inside of 4, right? And then we look at this. At 2 degrees open club face versus, okay, it's negative 2.5. So that drill also helps you shut the hands a little bit and square it up. Again, if your face to path is within 1 degree, 2 degrees, so face angle is pointing within 1.5 degrees of where my club is traveling, it really can't be that bad,
Yeah.
right? Unless you really mishit it. But the odds of that, okay.
Well, to keep from hitting up the heel, should I be hitting farther back? Would that help?
You can try that, but you're probably, I think the further back most people get, they tend to have swaying issues. Like if you're going to do it, adjust maybe a 1/4 inch at a time,
Yeah.
right? I see a lot of people go 3 inches and all of a sudden they have an issue missing the ball all day long.
Oh, yeah. Hit again here?
Yes, sir. See, that looks a little too far back to me. I would say bow forward more and lower your hands. Bow. Taller than your knees. There you go. That's better. Better strike. I'm not a fan of this update, man. Well, so like you never used to have to click this button and keep it up here. It automatically load the new swing, right? So again, pulled it left. Face was square, but with your fade, that was a better strike. Look, oh, there you go. So see how this tail got bigger on your fade over here? Take a look at your face to path ratio, right? This number is bigger. The gap between where the club is pointing and traveling, this area here, is bigger, and that's why you have more of a tail on the club on the path, right? So it's a little bit, again, it's playable. You'd be in right rough, right? It's not a slice, right? A slice would be starting inside of this target line and halting right. Yeah. We're just, again, we would like to see, so the real layman's term of this is, we talked about the grip the other day. Get the bottom of the club more in your fingertips, or to make it even super simple, try to hit the ball over here more, right? Try to start it left, okay? So go ahead and set up for me. And what I want you to do is I want to see, can you hit the ball over here, right? See if that changes, right? Without changing your alignment too much, see if you can get the club to start the ball over there more. Little straight, so we'll probably have a good fade on her. So, boom. So again, face angle was 0.8, meaning we need to see this at -2, right? Because your path's about -5 right now. So what I would say is go ahead and set up for me and just feel that your left hand, the club is more in your fingertips and the palm is more on top. Yep. That's going to give you that strong grip we talked about. See if that helps you release the club head now. Okay. Now, let's take a look. Maybe a little chub. I don't think it's going to give us the information. Let's find out. Okay. So, did that change our face angle? Look at this. Definitely did, right? We made a little bit of change. Now, we got to play with that a little bit. A little bit of, so look at that strike, though. Ooh, that was center almost, right? So now take a look. The club's actually shutting with it now. Okay, here's your draw. It's kind of a snap hook, but it was better than nothing, right? So let's try that again, same thing, and work with it a little bit. All right. Chubbed it a little bit. Let's try it again. And again, I want you to kind of hit the ball on the screen right there. You see that big, yeah, I want you to hit it that right now. Yep, where that ball was. She gone now, right there. See if you can hit it right over here for me. Good, nice and relaxed, smooth tempo, 1/1002. There you go. Great shot. Absolutely beautiful. Now take a look right over here on yours. So we know that the path likes to go left. That's one of our things, but we've got the face angle starting left more with a little bit of that grip change that we talked about. And then it produces a straighter result, right? Yeah. Down the line. It's gonna take a lot of work to fix your swing path right now. Yeah, 100%. But the easier thing is we can adapt the grip a little bit to help you train your club face or your wrist reaction. Okay. All right. Now we're moving on to the driver. Okay. So we got 9-7, a little bit of a hybrid. Now let's do driver. Does it make sense? Have I lost you yet? Okay,
no,
good. All right, so let's go to, I would recommend the number 4, just because if you go above that, it tends to want to pop fly a little bit. It looks lovely, not. That's the number 4. Yep. So what you do is you put that tee right here. Okay. Now, with the driver.
That's about where I do it, yeah. That's
perfect. Yeah, that's where I use it too. It's a pretty good tee. Now with the driver, I'll kind of sit right over here for a second. I'll give you a little demo. Right over there. Perfect. Square it up for you. Now you want the ball or the ball position stick right here to be a little bit more off the inside left heel.
Yep.
I wouldn't step on it too much. Some people do it. I prefer to see it within the stance. It's preference of the player. But if you have an issue topping the ball, I would be very wary of keeping it too far forward. Okay. Perfect. Great. All right. So if you look at the low point of our sweep with an iron or a wood or a hybrid, excuse me, it's more ahead of the ball, right? So the lowest point of an iron swing is always probably ahead of the ball. The lowest point of your driver swing, because we're trying to swing up on it, is behind the ball. So in order to make that work, you got to feel on address that your spine is has a little more tilt to it. You're looking more at the back side of the golf ball. And that little bit of tilt feels like you have 5% more weight on your trailing side. So being able to set up like that, now you're going to see smooth swing. Oh, falling over. Don't want to hurt my knee. Okay. Now the focus behind that is take a look. Where's my lowest point? 6.6 degrees or 6 inches behind the ball, right? I swung up on it. Is that different than an iron where I'm ahead of it 1 inch and I'm swinging down on it 1 degree, right?
okay.
Right? So with the driver, you are trying to stay behind it and launch it in the air.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you, all that really means on your setup, just feel like you have you're more behind the ball a little longer. Okay. Good. Right shoulder, wider stance for me. There you go. Right shoulder down. Almost. Hold on 1 second, please. Good. Yeah. I'd say a little bigger back foot too. There you go. Good. I want you to keep your left ear behind the tee. As long as you can. Almost. A little down on it. It'll pop. I gotta go back over here because I do this and that again. Okay. Not a bad strike there. Okay, so we did some good stuff there. Face angle is -2, right? So if we take a look at our simple version of it, our colors. Our club is traveling where our club is pointing. Fantastic, right?
Yeah.
So we hit up on the ball a little bit, which was good, and that allowed you to get almost 185 yards. Not bad, my friend. So take a look at the full swing. All right.
185. That's like 3 wood.
That's like what?
That's a little 3 wood for me.
I mean, so the one thing is it's going to take time to get a little, because you got to, again.
Gotta count the roll.
Yeah, so it was 154 carry, 185 roll. Okay.
Yeah.
But you also hit a little bit of the ground. So if we watch this, you hit, it's right in the ground right here, right? So when you learn to shallow the club out or let it come through to the tee without hitting the ground first, you will pick up club head speed. Because when you hit the ground first, you decrease club head speed, right?
What is something over the years? I usually hit my 3-wood 200 yards.
Okay.
My driver.
Now, so when was that? What year?
Forever.
Forever?
Yeah.
But you stopped playing when?
Huh?
You said you stopped playing for a while, right?
No.
No? Okay. I thought you said you stopped playing for a while, or like yesterday.
Like this, am I doing right?
So you look like this, right? I'd see a little more here. Yep. I don't. So see how you're reaching for the ball? You
Yeah.
don't need to do that. Right? We talked about that. Let it just happen. The club will do the reaching for you.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Oh, I see. Okay. Right.
Oh, she's gonna be right. Good. Not too bad. Very interesting how your hybrid has more path to the left than your driver does. I mean, you're hitting it consistently 185. Now, if you're talking about reasons you don't have distance, okay, your swing's a little too inside on the top. The club needs to be a little more up here above your shoulder. So you're shrinking your swing arc, right? So, well, I mean, you are for you, but take a look. It's only going back to L, right? Which is where you see your left arm going straight up in the air with that shaft right there. That's a half swing for most players, right? So if we elongate that process, yeah. Go ahead and answer if you want. Diamond bar golf course? So the tee went behind here. Oh. Oh, you got the tee? Okay. Perfect. Okay. So go ahead and set up. Give me a wide athletic stance for me. Right shoulder down. Right here. Good. Now, relax. There you go. You don't have to reach,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
If you reach, where's your grip going to be at? If you let it hang, where's your grip going to be at, right?
there,
Look what changed. Nothing, right?
Yeah.
That's going to want to be heel shots more. This is going to want to be more center club face. So watch your club face. When you lift, where's the club go? To the heel.
Heel. Ah.
But
Okay.
I want, for me, the rule of thumb is butt of clubs pointing at the belt buckle, the driver.
Yeah.
Okay. And then for the top of the swing, I want you to feel that your club is pointing more towards the wall
yeah,
here,
yeah.
right? Because
Yeah,
you're
full
stopping
swing.
right here, right?
Yeah, I'm not taking a full swing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sounded different. She sounded different. Okay, so your carry just went up about 20 yards.
Yeah, it felt like I hit it harder. Yeah.
Well, you got more out of it. So you went up from 154 carry to 174 carry. Now, is it going to feel comfortable at first? No. You got to practice. You got to train. You got to own it, right? But if we watch this swing, you can see the club's way higher here. And if I compare this to your other driver swing, which is right about here, let's look at the top of the swings. Look at the difference, right? So that's that, and right there is one of the reasons why you lost some carry, because you're not letting the club set at the top, right? You're not getting to the full point of your swing.
I think over the years I've never gone too far up.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking that.
Now, I don't recommend doing this with anything but the driver for right now, right? Just because it sets a little bit different at the top, okay? But try that again. That was awesome. Good job. Great job. And then what I'm going to do after you hit this one, I'm going to pull up the course and have you play a couple of holes just to kind of get into playing mode more, okay? I like seeing you over there. Yeah, it's nice. Normally, I'm just being in a dungeon. Try it again. It's all right. Let's get the. I'm gonna get you the screen out here. Boom. Okay. Let's go here. Boom. Okay, and just start focusing on hitting it straight now. Okay. And then I'm going to also send you